Take a deep breath. If being the designated go-to person at the office has left you feeling entirely depleted, this explainer is for you. The constant exhaustion of being the reliable one, well, it's not a badge of honor. It's a trap. And understanding how to escape requires recognizing the exact cycle you're caught in. This insidious cycle is known as performance punishment. It's what happens when competence is rewarded with more work, not a promotion. Proving you can handle immense stress, solve problems instantly, and never complain, that doesn't secure a path to the top. Instead, it inadvertently trains management to dump every single crisis squarely onto your desk. You literally become the ultimate shock absorber for organizational dysfunction. The grim reality is doing the jobs of 3 people for the salary of 1. What begins as a compliment, being highly reliable, inevitably transforms into a trap of severe burnout. The reward for digging the best ditches is simply being handed a larger shovel. You finish your own tasks efficiently, only to be handed the unfinished work of your peers. Competence becomes a complete liability when it lacks boundaries. The boundary of mediocrity. Untethering self-worth from productivity. It's time to shift the perspective toward sheer survival. Protecting your peace requires completely separating personal self-worth from corporate output. The numbers, the metrics, the projects, they do not define your value as a human being. Just look at the stark contrast in the corporate ecosystem. On one side, the burnt-out superstar, overwhelmed and drowning in tasks, carrying the weight of entire departments. On the other, the protected, consistently average employee. The safest employees are rarely the superstars. They're the ones who safely manage expectations, deliberately pacing their output to stop that relentless influx of dumped responsibilities. So, how do you stop being the path of least resistance? Establishing firm boundaries without crossing into fireable incompetence requires a practical toolkit. Let's look at the 3 key shifts to master. Step 1. The delayed yes. Creating friction against dumped tasks. The first rule of survival is to never agree to a new task immediately. An instant yes signals that there are no barriers, inviting endless delegation and inevitable burnout. Let me check my bandwidth. Memorize this phrase. Deploy this mandatory delay tactic whenever asked to take on extra work. It acts as a polite, highly professional wall against the flood of sudden, urgent demands constantly hurled your way. Because friction deflects the burden. This simple pause creates enough resistance that the person delegating will often just move on. They're looking for a quick fix, and by pausing, you force them to wait. Usually, they'll just find someone else who is easier to dump the task on. You are no longer the easiest target. Step 2. Narrowing the scope, preventing silent expansion. There are inevitably moments when accepting a task is absolutely unavoidable. This is the second survival tactic. When that happens, you most ruthlessly narrow the scope. Explicitly state what your exact contribution will be, and, just as importantly, what you will not do. Do not leave room for assumptions. Setting these rigid parameters stops scope creep dead in its tracks before it has the chance to ruin your weekend. Stop collaborative projects from becoming solo burdens. Enforcing rigid boundaries ensures that a team effort doesn't quietly, inevitably become your sole problem to solve. If 5 people are assigned to a project, ensure your output reflects exactly 20% of the effort. No more stepping in to rescue colleagues who fail to deliver. The weight of the work stays distributed exactly where it belongs. Step 3. The visibility pivot. Stopping invisible labor. This final strategic move addresses the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes work. You know the ones. Those maintenance tasks that keep the corporate machine running but never earn any formal recognition or reward. Shift energy entirely away from invisible maintenance tasks. Reserve high competence exclusively for highly visible projects. Target 90% of professional energy toward work that leadership actually notices. Secure your job, not the machine. This visibility pivot is the absolute key to maintaining sanity. Applying profound effort only where it directly impacts actual job security prevents the soul-crushing cycle of unappreciated, invisible labor. Survival dictates focusing on your own professional standing rather than propping up inefficient systems in the dark. Protect your mental energy, surviving the corporate machine. Pacing your output is vital to protecting your life outside the office walls. The corporate environment is simply not designed to prioritize your peace. The company will take whatever you are willing to give. It is time to stop giving it everything. Subscribe to Thought Pattern Reset for more strategies to protect your energy.